Good morning, friends, fellow physios, students, faculties. I thank all the people, physiotherapists, faculty, students, and my friends, physio colleagues who are extending enormous support to this video series. I once again request you, my idea is to give more clarification for understanding. So, if you all like, please subscribe, click like button. You can even extend your comments, and whatever you want us to discuss, you can very well let me know. I will be able to highlight. Now, in continuation to the last video what I released about the history of the council, there are some 5-6 questions, there were lot of questions have come with 5-6 major part which I thought I should answer in this video. So, I will make a brief answering to this, so that I can choose to go for next topic in the next video. That is that will be very interesting, equal to this history. The first one is, people ask me what is the monetary benefit we get out of this council. I would like to clarify to my friends that the council is not the authority to fix a salary, but however we have a hold, we have an authority and we have the powers to fix the status of the physiotherapist in the clinical level as well as academic level. So, I think we will have the status elevated, by which the monetary benefit what is likely to come will automatically come. So, I do not think that we need to directly start calculating on the issue, but there will be an issue. One, there will be a definite benefit indeed, and the second question which was asked was why all the options given by Government of India were rejected. I think it is a very valid point. In 1966 we were given Physio Occupational Therapy Council, later we were given the Omnibus Council, and we were given the Rehabilitation Council of India, and we were given Paramedical Council of India and Paramedical and Physiotherapy Council of India, and later the subsequent one, National Commission for Allied and Healthcare. So, the issue was, one, I would like to clarify the option of occupational therapy, physiotherapy, occupational therapy joint council. To my knowledge, I am again telling you, these are all the informations whatever I have in my record. So, the count that was rejected, or rather that was not considered, because there was an opinion poll conducted national wide, and the majority of people did not opt for OTPT council that time. I think that was discussed even in the Bangalore. We had a national level meet in Bangalore where it was discussed, and I think the polling was declared, and I think polling result said that people were not for joint council. So, that was the reason. It was not any group or any decision, it was a decision of the national wide survey, voting, I should say, voting I could call it. The second one was about the Omnibus Council. Again we were still insisting on Independent Council Act. So, we said that physiotherapists should be given Independent Council Act. So, please do not put us in Omnibus Council where we get diluted. Then all these options were not considered. So, the Delhi the physios and the Delhi government decided to give a joint OTPT council, which followed by the Maharashtra state also declared a joint OTPT council. So, these are the two councils which we said not acceptable, but very surprisingly both the states declared. You know that physiotherapy emerged from Bombay, and there are a lot of Delhi, capital being a capital, there are a lot of Delhi seniors worked behind the council act and other things. But why it was national wide rejected, but how it was accepted is something we could not even understand. So, possibly both the councils of state councils found to be very positive to them, and in national wide was not considered. Okay, that was the reason why it was not considered, and later the first national wide, I mean, the state wide council, independent physiotherapy council was proposed, and the draft was made ready, and the thing also was been made ready in Tamil Nadu, but by the time the enactment should come forward, I think Gujarat was the first state in the country to have a independent physiotherapy council act, and later many states have. So we were still insisting that as many states coming out with, Andhra Pradesh now had a independent council, and Karnataka is now planning, working on it, Pondicherry, so many states were working on it. So we were under impression that we will be considered, so we are stressing, but ultimately, as you all know well, that the medically directed, which was in the definition in 2004 as paramedical and physiotherapy council bill, was a big hit for us. We do not want, because I do not have to tell you that what was the implications behind this. Medically directed will almost dilute our independency. So there was the idea that we do not want to have that particular council. Later it was referred to parliamentary committee, and parliamentary committee, meanwhile immediately the Rehabilitation Council of India was proposed in 2005. Later the Rehabilitation Council of India was not accepted, because there is a mixed view, that some people say, sir, we should have accepted Rehabilitation Council of India, but from my point of view, I am again telling it my personal point of view, I feel that we do not want to get away from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, because Rehabilitation Council of India is under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So where we are likely to lose our status in the medical thing, and possibly we were under suspicion, and we were under the impression that physiotherapy under medical department can emerge into a different scenario, which will dilute the medical status of the physiotherapy. So we do not want to get into that particular trouble. So we were very strict that we do not want to be under the Ministry of Social Justice Empowerment, we want to be under the medical department of health and family welfare. That was the idea. So there are other more risk factors which we felt that it is likely to give mushrooming of so many short term courses also. So we were not willing for that, that was the reason that was not accepted. Later the Paramedical Physiotherapy Council of India has been doing, and now National Commission for Allied, first initially came National Commission for Health Professions, and next came National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions, where I have already explained in the previous video that we were given option, you choose, you do not choose, you decide, then continue to fight, we do not want to contradict. So this was the view which was given to us, so we had no other option. So the more and more we delay, it is going to be a kind of loss to us. There are so many losses which I will just brief it in the forthcoming questions. So why we had rejected RCA, I already told you, we do not want to be under Minister of Social Justice Empowerment. And what are the benefits? Some people ask me, sir, what are the benefits of now we do not have council, still physiotherapy is surviving, what is the benefit by eating? The major benefits will be, one is anti-quackery. Those who are practicing physiotherapy without qualification can be legally curtailed, and post creations can be there, because when they make a policy, normally the statutory bodies will be in a position to suggest the post creations where all physiotherapists have a role. So there are so many areas, including academics and clinical and other projects, physiotherapists are likely to get the opportunity. So post creations will be more stronger and better if it is pushed through council. And second one is educational standards will definitely be elevated, there will be an uniform standard, and the council will govern the standards, and there will be uniform syllabus also national wide. Of course, there will be a guide, already there is an existing guidelines by the Ministry of Health, that physiotherapy model curriculum of physiotherapy, but many may not adopt it, many universities may not adopt it. So it would be better to have a council which will design the syllabus, and that syllabus has to be followed. I think you will have a uniform syllabus, so that national wise accreditation. Now one person working completed a course in one state, not able to get registration in other state. That is because there are so many issues about the syllabus, so many issues about the class hours and the curriculum. They have a lot of contradictions. So, they always transcripts also vary. So, naturally they do not recognize. So, I think this problem will be addressed well. So, anyone finishes anywhere will get an opportunity to work anywhere and get registered anywhere. Once you go into national register, I think getting into a state register would not be an issue. So, naturally I think the registration process will get more simplified. So, these are all the basic benefits I am talking about, anti-quackery, post creations. I will give you one example. This is for information. I was also a member of Board of Studies. There was a syllabus of Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences. If you look at the syllabus, you will find exercise therapy, electrotherapy in one full semester. In fact, electrotherapy also was there, and they were being given almost a similar, very similar syllabus what BPT follows. So, as a Board of Studies member, we objected it. We said that electrotherapy does not come under naturopathy. So, you should not be practicing or you should not be studying all this, but the reply given by that particular field of people is the council, they had a national council, I think some central council for alternate medicine or something. So, the council has framed the syllabus. So, we are not in a situation to change. Possibly you can address this matter to the central council, and central council's changes or delays will stop. So, this was the safest answer they gave, and we tried to mobilize through HRD ministry, we tried to mobilize through health ministry, we tried to contact the alternate medicine university, but there was no response. Possibly if we would have had a council that time, physiotherapy council, I think this matter would have been addressed more effectively. We could have very well objected that electrotherapy does not fall into the category, or we can even take a privilege of studying their subject to include in our thing, and say we will also start practicing alternate medicine. So, this was a delicate issue where we could not defend beyond a point of time, because they are projecting it as a council's directions. So, if physiotherapy council would have been there, this matter would have been addressed better. Even now the naturopathy has electrotherapy and exercise therapy as a part of syllabus, and they are practicing. I think that has to be dealt through both the councils. Possibly I think if you have a national council coming in, the Ayush ministry and Ayush council and as well as the council can sit across and sort out this matter. That would be a benefit. I am just giving an example. Likewise, there are so many areas and starting start-up courses without approval, and there are so many skill trainings been going on without objectives. So, these are all danger areas where physiotherapists can get professional diluted. And what are the losses? They asked me, what are the losses by not having it? What losses? What I felt is the creation of posts. Actually, there are so many government and other institutes not really adopting the teaching patterns whatever the university governs, and in the government also the ratio is not good, and the creation of posts and hierarchy. As I think all these areas have not been properly addressed. I think government is taking very lighter. So, all the central and state governments, I think if the council is there, we will be able to stress the creation of teaching posts and the creation of national wise standards and educational pattern and the scale of pay and par with the UGC recommendation likewise. So, there are so many things still not very strong. If the council would have been there, possibly why university alone does not require to keep defending this matter. The council will defend the matter better, stronger, and we could have had better more posts coming up. An example I can tell you, in south, many south government colleges do not have the university governed post. So, there are so many reasons what they are showing. I think if the council would have been there, we could have had the same thing in the rural setup, in the school education, children education, so many projects where physiotherapists can have a role, but not very effectively strongly put in. Possibly the council will be able to put. So, lots of post creations and lots of thing hierarchy, the status and salary and category wise hierarchy will be very strongly addressed by the council. So, these are all the basic benefits, and we could have curtailed anti-quackery. So many unqualified people are practicing. Of course, this is not new. Just for information I can tell you, there is a study which was presented by the Medical Study Authority. They say even almost 50% to 60% of rural practice is being done by non-registered or licensed, non-licensed people. in the medical. So, in spite of having a council, they themselves find it very difficult to curtail the malpractices. So, I think we will be able to do our best by curtailing non-practice. And second thing is, there is an always final thing there. There is so many questions came about. Sir, we are in the allied and health care, and out of 57 professions, are we not diluting our status? I am just telling you, if you look at the act fully, there is two things. One, it is a overarching committee will be there, and there are two schedules. One schedule with healthcare professions with 3600 study hours, which will be a higher healthcare professions, and less than that 2500, 600, less than that will be considered as allied professions. So, we do not fall under the category of allied, we are fall in the category of health sciences, and we are been given the provisions are there in chapter 2 section 10. If you look at it, the provisions are there for establishment of professional councils. So, there are much more councils can be established by this act. So, naturally you will have physiotherapy council will likely to be established because that was one of the requests, and they said we will definitely consider. So, once the interim committee nominates the allied and healthcare professional committee and the committee is constituted, this matter will be addressed and the ministry will surely consider, and I am sure that there will be an independent physiotherapy council which will govern physiotherapy professions, and I do not think this will have any dilutions. Anyway, it has to go through the overarching committee and it has to go to the ministry. These are procedures that you do not have to bother. As long as the council is very strong in the recommendation, things will be taken very positive by the government. I am very sure that this council would definitely serve the purpose, and we do not have to panic, and as the council get nominated and state council get nominated and the bylaws have been drafted and other procedures have been adopted, I think the professional growth will be much better, and I look at positive on this particular council, and I do not want to contradict any negative feel some of our friends, physios and colleagues have about this council, which is they feel that it is not going to serve the purpose, and we are almost compromised in this. It is not exactly that way. There are little compromise made, but without compromising on the professional standard. Please note, we never stand the organizations whichever dealt, I do not want to name it for the ethical reason, any organization or major organization or minor organization whichever represented never compromised on the standards of physiotherapy and status of physiotherapy and independent practice of physiotherapy. That is not compromised. So, I think the title does not matter and the professional growth will be better. We do not have to panic, and members, please wait for the government of India to start implementing, working on the council. Things will definitely go positive. So, be positive. As I told you, please try to dedicate yourself, do your professional commitments. I think very soon the whole situation scenario will change. So, these are all the simple answers I wanted to give you. So, I will catch you up in the next video, which will be mostly on the legends who brought the profession to this level. So, that is my plan. I will release the next video in the next visit, and you all like, please subscribe, click subscribe button and like and circulate it to all your friends for the information. Thank you very much. Bye bye.